Today on the channel, we're going to take a trip back in time and take a look at Guitar World from July 1988. Alright, so check it out. Here's the July 1988 edition of Guitar World with Eddie Van Halen on the cover. And they were celebrating the OU812 release. So I love this photo of Eddie. I just love the relaxed Hawaiian shirt, and he just looks like he's at a great point in his life where he's just totally satisfied with his accomplishments and coming to his own. So great memories back then. Hard to believe, 34 years ago. That's just insane. So let's take a look at this. By the way, I got the idea to do these videos from Michael Nielson. Michael Nielson's got a great YouTube channel. A lot of cool gear stuff. I'll put his YouTube channel in the description. So check out Michael Nielson's channel. It is fantastic. So anyway, thanks Mike for the great idea for these magazine videos. All right, so let's crack into this baby. Right out of the gate, we got a Yamaha ad and Steve Morse. That's a terrible haircut, man. I don't know. It looks like he went to Supercuts for that haircut, but anyway, great guitar and a great player. I've heard he's an awesome dude, but not meaning to pick on his haircut, but it's not the best. But I'm one to talk. I look like a hippie these days. All right, so let's see. There's what we're looking for, the cover story on page 52. I bet you when we get to this section, there's going to be a picture or something ripped out, because back when I was in my teens, I would take out pictures of my idols. There's Satriani promoting the DiMarzio pickups. Check out this Vandenberg guitar. Got this cutout here, these little notches. I have heard that these guitars are extremely collectible now. I bet you they play good. Those old PVs. It's kind of neat. I don't know about the pink, but I'd rock it. I think it's cool. Back when people had to write letters in to get their opinions across to the editors and stuff, rather than Twitter. If you were one of the lucky thousands to submit your letter, they pick about 6 people and put your letter in there. Probably edit it way down. Oh, dude, look at this Ted Nugent ad. Kind of reminds me of Matt Riddle in WWE, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's a cool Paul Reed Smith he's got there. Rare picture of Ted not playing his Birdland. Look at this. These people, 150 guitarists, simultaneously thrashing out the garage band classic Luai Luai. I bet that sounded like absolute trash, but it was probably really fun. I think they still do those things. I think they did an AC/DC one recently, pre-COVID maybe. And look at this guy. He looks like Quentin Tarantino. I apologize. I don't know any of these. I don't know that guy. I don't know this guy. Henry Kaiser. I mean, I'll put in the comments below, I guess. Thought that was Sammy Hagar at first. I'm like, why is he playing the BC Rich? Jennifer Batten. Back in the glory days. Bebop to beat it. And she was a jazz cat. Still is. Monster player. Guitar Safari does Dallas. Old Billy Gibbons still looking the same, man. His iconic image. I love Billy Gibbons, top 5 player in my opinion. Little photo shoot going on there with some Texas barbecue or something. Always with the ladies. Must be the beard, man. He was onto it early. He was onto it early. This is cool. His guitar safari. He's probably got, next to Joe Bonamassa, I bet you Billy Gibbons has got one of the best collections. Gibson should do one of those videos, the collection series with Billy Gibbons. I bet you that would be killer. Well, it would be killer. It would. I don't bet you. It would be amazing. He's probably got all kinds of oddball custom stuff. Rising Force, featuring vocals by Joe Lynn Turner. Check that out. Rising Force, brand new release. This is truly a time capsule. I love looking at these old magazines. It's cool to see what was out, what was coming out. I really love looking at some of the advertisements too. It's just some stuff gets so dated. Morley pedals. Morley good stuff. They actually were running Heritage ads. That's interesting. Like Gibson style stuff. Total Audio Brilliance art. Got a Living Color ad there. David Gilmour. What a master. Look at this ad with Ed wearing a tuxedo, rocking the Valerie Bertinelli feathered haircut. Him and his relationship with Kramer was amazing. Undefeated champion for a second year in a row. Kramer Guitars. I wonder why. That guy right there. There's Gilmour again. Yet another movie. Check it out. Here's the Steinberger guitar. I just recently did a video on the Summer Nights lesson, and I can't believe that thing's at 102,000 views, but this issue's actually got a transcription for Summer Nights, and it's got the non-trans tremmed, it's got the trans trems transcription in it, where you need a trans trem to play the transcription, so that's kind of funny. But that shows the locking trans trem thing where you can fix it in positions, I guess. I guess that's what that is. These must be coil taps, I guess. Huh. That says Hohner. So that's a Hohner with a Steinberger setup. Interesting. Paul Gilbert ad, a little bit more. David Gilmour. Oh, check it out. Frank Gambale. He loved those yellow Ibanez. Kind of like Neely Brash today. Or Brosh. Yeah. Never really dug Frank's music. He was really fusiony. I respected the guy. I thought he had some great techniques, and he was definitely ahead of his time. If you've never heard of Frank Gambale, check out some of his old stuff. He was super fast and clean, very intelligent, great instructor, great player. What is this? Holmes? I have no idea. I never remembered seeing any of that stuff. Yeah, there's Frank Gambale sweep seminar. He was like the guy that started the whole sweeping thing. I want to say. There's Holdsworth. Check it out. There's Holdsworth playing. He's playing a Steinberger. So maybe that's Eddie was really inspired by Holdsworth. So check it out. Maybe Alan got him into the Steinberger whole setup there, and that explains how that solo for the Summer Nights song, how it got inspired, and especially live when you hear Eddie go off on it, like in Live Without a Net. It's total fusion. Hurricane. Who knows? There he is. Edward. Guitar World had the best interviews with Van Halen. They really did a great job at talking about driving to 5150 studios and just really capturing the essence of Eddie as a person. There's Eddie the rock star, Ed the good guy, the good buddy, and wisecracking regular guy, but these two take orders from Edward, the smoldering perfectionist who gets it all down on wax. Meaning LPs. Look at this article here. I'll hold this real still in case someone wants to screenshot this and read this later. The 5150 complex lies at the end of a rutted private road on a wooded hillside riding out to the San Fernandino Valley. These hills are swarming with rock stars, and most keep their gates closed. But not the rock star, not now anyway. There's been a steady stream of traffic in and out of 5150. Great article. They talk about everything, all the shenanigans going on in the studio. You guys want to snap that or look at that later? Pause that. And then here's some more stuff. I like how the interview starts. First of all, we're not going to dwell on the David Lee Roth issue. That's been done to death. And Eddie says, good. Guitar World. What we want to talk about primarily is how you make your music and when you play it in a trio like you did for years. And Van Halen says, like I'm still doing a trio with a throat. Van Halen says, you got to fill the gaps. That's why I always want to use the Echoplex, because it made a lot of noise, so it'd cover up a lot of shit. And he laughs. I gotta go back and read all this. These are such good interviews, and I'm missing a page because I probably took a picture out, hung it on my dorm room wall. Wish I had it. More interview stuff. So Guitar World says, yeah, you sit on your bed and you put the guitar on your lap and you play. And Van Halen says, oh yeah, I was watching Ry Cooder during a photo session of Guitar World a few months ago, and when he was waiting to have his picture taken, he was plucking around the guitar, working off some nervous energy, and I thought, that guy spent a lot of time sitting on the bed. And Eddie goes, yeah, on the bed in the motel room. Yeah, I did that for freaking years, man. That's what your first electric, was that your first electric guitar? Eddie says, it was a Tiesco Del Rey. He talks about learning the hammer-on thing during Heartbreaker. Watching Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page. I think this is kind of interesting, where Guitar World here says, how do you feel when you see so many other guys do it, meaning tapping? And I must say, I've seen it abused. Now keep in mind, this is 1988. I don't think people really use it right. They use it as a trick, whereas I try to use it. I don't know if I use it any different than they do, really. To me, it's just part of the way I play, whereas with them it's like, okay, I'll play guitar now I'll do this. It's just something I've been doing ever since I've been playing, almost. A lot of good insight in this article. Ronnie Montrose, by the way, there looking buff and a little angry. My cat's meowing in the background, as always. Akira Takasaki. All right, there's more Van Halen stuff here on this page. I always felt like I was kind of a rhythm player. I mean, in my leads, in my solos, I always felt like I was pretty rhythmic. I got a weird sense of time. A lot of times I'll count something off or just start playing something, and Al will come in completely backwards from the normal beat. It's almost a running joke in the band. Sammy will go, watch, Al coming backwards. I don't do it on purpose. I just kind of go, counts off. I never come in on time. That totally explains a lot of stuff. A lot of Van Halen weird timing stuff where Al turns the beat around. I think Al does that on purpose. Who knows? Check this out. Leo Fender's first electric guitar, the Radio Shop guitar, owned by Roy Acuff Museum in Opryland, Nashville. I need to go down there. I live in Nashville. I need to check that out. I wonder if it's still there. The Radio Shop guitar. This is like the first Steinberger. Come to find out, Leo Fender invented the Transtrem, y'all. We just discovered it, man. We went back in history, 34 years. And look at this, Washburn breaking out the crackle finishes. Everyone's crazy about crackles. I think crackles are cool, but that is pretty wicked, man. Pretty wicked. Gitool. I had a Gitool. These things always fell apart on me. Then you just have the loose Allen keys and junk in your gig bags. One time I had one come out in a gig bag and it went inside the case and it scratched my guitar up. I never did that again. Live and learn, guys. Live and learn. Mossy. In 4 words, powerful, melodic, driving rock. Never heard of those dudes again. This is very cool. I own a Rockman stereo delay and a Rockman soloist. I love these things, but I think Boston are great. They're great for recording. I mean, they have that perfect mid-range sound that really cuts through. Clearly, Tom Scholz knew what he was doing. Not everybody's cup of tea, but it gives you the sound you need live or on recording. Look at this guy. I met Zeke Clark in Nashville at a gig about 20 years ago. I went to his house and I actually played several of the 5150 Van Halen guitars. Played a Sammy Hagar, I Can't Drive 55, Washburn. I think that's the Fender Eddie played on Cabo Wabo. More than likely, that's the Strat used on Finish What You Started. Apolitical Blues. Esquire. A lot of people thought Eddie played his Frankenstein on the records. He did, but he also played a bunch of stuff, man. Eddie played a lot of things on record. What you use in the studio and what you use as your weapons on the road sometimes are the same, but most of the time they vary a lot. Here's some more interview. Did I miss something? Let me go back real quick. I did miss something there. I haven't heard a rock and roll record like this in a long time. Maybe I'm just out of touch or something, but there's so many things on it. I'm jazzed. So he was really stoked about OU812. I personally love OU812. The only Van Halen record I really don't like is 3. I just don't think Van Halen 3 was produced that great. I think the material was okay if it just didn't seem produced well, but needed some editing. But I love OU812. I even like the song Feels So Good. I think me and Eddie are the only guys that like that song. Bartolini pickups. They're cool. Barky and gritty. Okay, so some more stuff here. I tried a synth years ago and it didn't track for crap. If I want electronic crap, I'll play it on keyboards. Why bastardize the guitar? You guys can maybe get a shot of that if you want. Who knows if you are or not, but a lot of cool stuff in here. I wonder if you can order these back issues. If you go on Guitar World's website, if they've got this stuff on like PDF or microfilm or something. Oh, there's Michael Anthony. He got his spotlight. Oh, Mikey. I love Mikey. Mikey knows his way around Van Halen land. He spent more than a decade around the brothers, VH, and understands the setup. He's aware, for example, that Ed and Al unfailingly keep temperature in the studio at a cool 64, so shorts and t-shirts don't make it. Not if there's a session that day. He knows which area of the room belongs to him and his bass. Most of all, he understands and accepts his role in the band. Ed's the quarterback of Van Halen. Al's the fullback, and Sammy Hagar is starting his second season as running back. Hey, somebody's got a block for all these glory boys. That would be Mike Anthony. Surrounded by all-stars, a stocky bass player who looks like a somewhat miniaturized version of an offensive lineman. These are great articles. To be steady and unspectacular, to clear a path for the big boys. Come on, man, give him some more credit. I mean, that's good credit, but geez. He talks about his he's not a P-bass purist, he says. Varies his setup all the time. Cool. Digital magic. 2 words guitar players never want to hear. And they've made a big ad about it. This ad was probably $5,000. Robin Guitars, remember those? There's even some more. I love how these magazines just put like, you got to turn through 20 pages, then you get like this little snippet. Oh yeah, I guess when I put my mind in that mode, when the electricity starts happening, it just kind of happens. You see, Eddie he didn't plan things out. He just let the music run through him. And he has said many times before, they catch lightning in a bottle. So when they started 5150, it really allowed Eddie to branch out, experiment, and just do whatever he could, whatever he felt natural, and catch it on tape. I think I get my rocks off pretty well. I don't have any deep hidden freaking things that I want to get out. I do what I do and everything seems to fit. If I want to do a long solo, I'll do a long solo. No one's telling me I can't. A lot of the tunes on this record are long too. There's no song under 5.5 minutes so far, and 3 or 4 of them are over 7 minutes. We'll have to cut the crap down a little bit. I don't know how we're going to do that either. Great interview. And it keeps going. It keeps going. Hopefully this isn't boring you guys. I think it's interesting. Don't get me wrong, I don't think our first 6 records were bad or anything. It's just different now. We won the Super Bowl last year. We're going to be the first ones to do it twice in a row. One thing that I think makes OU 812 great is it made some people uncomfortable when it came out, but then years later, it's got true staying power. That's my opinion. And it has longevity. It's not something that you listen to and really, I mean, there are some things on there, I guess, that maybe wouldn't fly today, but I mean, I think it has aged very well, and I just think there should be more bass on the album. I wish they'd remaster the Van Halen catalog with Sammy Hagar, especially 5150 and OU 812. That would be great. Remaster and equalize it. Don't remix it. So they ask, so it's coming from a musical seed. You were saying before, you don't know what I meant by changes. I just thought that was the difference between chord changes and the song melody. Eddie says, not me. If I come up with a lick or something like what I just played you, there's a melody and changes all in one. You don't get much of a melody out of something that doesn't have any changes. So there's, over here on this corner, so there's really no stand-up approach here. You pretty much start a song, just finish it, so it's done, right to the mixing stage, rather than go, okay, we're gonna basic track now, and then we're gonna overdub, then we're gonna mix after that. And Eddie says, there's no rules. Look at that there. That's great, great photo. Eddie's just saying, no, I'm just having a good time. This is a huge answer by Eddie, so I'm just gonna hold this out here so you can take a look at that. Maybe pause it if you want to read that later. Hopefully you got it, grabbed it. Shrapnel Records, they put out some super blazing stuff, man. I like the Shrapnel Records stuff. Axe Sack. We all got to get an Axe Sack. I got to find one of these on eBay. Good old Billy Sheehan. How would you like to win this? Oh, Edward Van Halen guitar giveaway. Win one of Edward Van Halen's personally designed and autographed Kramer guitars presented to you by Edward himself backstage at the Monsters of Rock concert in LA, July 23rd of '88. That would have been the best graduation present of all time for me, which I did not win. I got to go back through and read this stuff. A lot of good information on this in this interview. These old Guitar World interviews with Eddie Van Halen are outstanding. Really, really in depth. Nowadays you get like a page with, you know, a few pictures. These are super in-depth. Well, you get YouTube videos now, so they'll sit there and talk for 2 hours. But I like these really well-done edited videos. Or, I cannot talk today. Interviews. Fernandez, cool guitars. Had a pitch class by Joe Satriani. Cool. This Carvin ad. Stu Ham did some bass articles, make a little bit of extra money there. Cool. Stu is awesome, great dude. JB Player, remember those? ADA, good stuff. Kitty Hawk. Garbage. Phil Collin. If you look, this is Phil Collin back in '88. Take a look at what this dude looks like now. I mean, this guy looks like he's 118 pounds. And Steve Clark is really skinny too. These guys were eating like ketchup sandwiches, I think, for dinner, and just drinking. There's no weight on these guys. They were really young, but man, Phil has really taken good care of himself. Man, look how small he is there. Holy smokes. There's a Yamaha sound check. Those things were $595 back in '88, so that's like $1,200 today. I don't know if I'd have bought a Yamaha back in the day if I had the money. DiMarzio pickups. Your typical ads, Rivera stuff. Check out this dude, this Metal Method guy. You got to get him in there at least once. Doug Marks probably made $20 million off of that Metal Method. There's Leo. If y'all don't know what Leo Fender looked like, he was still kicking back in the day. Running G&L. Clapton review. They're reviewing Crossroads by Clapton. Yeah. This stuff's kind of boring. John McLaughlin, Part 2. Ted Nugent ad. Check out Carvin trying to compete with Kramer. Here's the Summer Nights transcription. As I was saying earlier, I've got a lesson on YouTube, and there they show it with the trans trem up a step and a half. So it's like, first out of the gate, like, okay, if you don't have a trans trem, what are you going to do? You can play it, but you're going to just tune your guitar up a step and a half. Although Guitar World had awesome transcriptions, quite honestly, their transcriptions were pretty accurate from what I can tell. And that was it. Ovation ad with CC DeVille. I don't think I ever saw CC DeVille play an acoustic. So, and Steve Stevens. Is he playing a Hamer? I believe so. Yeah. Those were great guitars. Now he's a Nags guy. Like me. Cool. Guitar World, July 1988. Hope you enjoyed it.